All right, so for this problem, we are doing a one sample z-test for a proportion because they give us one sample of 100 individuals to determine the number that owns a pet. What percentage of them own pets? The poll returns a result of 62 of them owning a pet. So the research is interested in determining if the number of people owning a pet has decreased from the previous belief proportion of 70. So this is our set value, our assumption right there at HO. That's the assumption, is that HO equals 0.70. So P is 0.70 is the HO. Now the HA is that it's went down, so we're trying to prove that it's less than 70% now. That's what we're trying to find convincing evidence of. So you would do a one sample z-test for a proportion with a 5% significance level. And so I'm going to bring up Staplet here and do one sample z-test for a proportion right there. One sample z-test. And my categories, as you can see I wrote down right here, would be pet and no pet. So pet and no pet. And how many of them owned a pet? 62 out of 100. So 62 owned a pet. So the frequency is how many of them owned a pet? 62. How many of them did not own a pet then? So no pet would be 100 minus 62. So no pet equals 100 minus 62, which is 38. So I'm going to put 38 for no pet and begin analysis. So 62% owned a pet in this. We're trying to prove that it's dropped from 70. That's a good number, lower than 70, 62. This might be enough to prove it. So our hypothesis here is that it's less than 0.70, less than 70% right here. So I'm going to perform, and I get 0.0404 as my p-value. So this is lower than 5%, so this is convincing evidence that the number of individuals owning a pet has decreased. So my conclusion right here, and I'll write it over here, based on the p-value of 0.0404 being less than 0.05, which was the significance level, we do have convincing evidence that the proportion of people owning a dog has decreased. So yeah, we do have convincing evidence that the proportion of people owning a dog has decreased based on that. So I stated my conclusion based on the p-value that I had. So based on a p-value of 0.0404, which is less than 0.05, we do have convincing evidence. All right, so that is number 17.